hello to my hungry and foolish audience. My very first book was Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish. And how many of you feel कि हाँ हम भूखे और बुद्धू हैं? Because when we say it in Hindi, it sounds even stranger. But the whole point is that, it's not about being hungry to go to the food court. It's about the hunger that's deeper, that's in all of you. And I think that's why you're here today on a Thursday. You're spending your day here to learn more, to grow yourself, to reach somewhere higher. And these were the words of Steve Jobs to the graduating class of Stanford. He said, don't think that, you've achieved everything. From here on, also, you're going to learn and grow and contribute to the world. And why foolish? Any guesses what's the foolish part about? Yes? Yeah, so you don't know everything. You're open to learning more. Anyone else? So also foolish because whenever anybody tries to do something new or different, people say, ki, oh, this person is bewakoof, foolish, and so on. And when they become a great success, then they say, oh, I always knew you had so much talent. And, we know this person. So that's my story. I'm a storyteller. But technically, by qualification, I'm an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. But I always love writing. So I didn't take the placement, and I actually became a journalist, I became an entrepreneur, and I became an author. And for almost 20 years, my father was very unhappy with this whole life choice. But finally, he said one day, no, I think you were right. You did the right thing. So I too was hungry and foolish. So my books are basically about, not just about starting a business, because people say entrepreneurship is about starting a business. But I think it's about creating your own destiny, Each of us has a story to tell. Even as you are here today, every moment of your life, you are living your story. But then the question is that who is writing your story? Is it you, or you're allowing other people to write it? So sometimes we get so influenced by what's happening around us, what other people are doing, then we are not holding that pen, or we're not typing on our own keyboard and, taking our story forward. So when I write these stories, now this particular book, Who Said She Can't, is actually the inspiring stories of the pioneering women graduates of IIT Bombay. How many of you are engineers here? Everybody. Okay, how many girls were there in your class? Like, what was the percentage ratio of girls to boys? Huh? 8%. Okay, apart from the girls' college, 10%. I thought nowadays it's very high. I thought it's 30%, 40%. Okay. So you know what I'm talking about. So these are the women who joined IIT in 70s, 80s, 90s, right? And I think there were 8 girls in the class with 400 boys. In some cases, it was like there was one girl in the entire branch. In computer science, there's one girl sitting in the class. Whether she's absent or she's present, all the eyes are on her, right? So all of you know how difficult it is when you get so much scrutiny. There's so much of, I would say, curiosity, but then people don't come and talk to you because they're shy. And, they would be sitting alone in their hostel doing their assignments, whereas all the boys are together and helping each other, right? So there were so many difficulties. But these women said, yaar, theek hai, abhi hum aa gaye yahan pe, to humko abhi karna hai. So many of them topped their class. They went on and, they went to MIT. They went to, Carnegie Mellon, all those places. One of the ladies went to MIT. And there were 3 women in the PhD program. The other 2 started saying, it's terrible here. We are only 3 of us. She said, no, but I mean, this is very good. I was only 1 person in my class. Now I have 2 more girls for company. So this experience of, being sort of a very small minority, but of course very talented and so on. But yes, you have to maybe prove yourself a little more. It helped them immensely. And, if you go through the, small biographies of all these women, they've done extremely well in their careers. They're doing very, very different things. I won't read the, from the book. I'll just give you a sample of the kind of, women and what they're doing today. So, for example, we have We have Shalini Govilpai. She was from 1990 batch of BTech Computer Science. She was the only girl in her class, as I told you. And she's a VP and GM of Google TV. And she also earlier worked in Pixar. While Steve Jobs was there, she worked on films like The Toy Story. And she was very interested in, one time she was obsessed with joining Bollywood films. So she says, I didn't get to do that, but I realized that, even in technology, I can be creative. So, many of them have taken a very different path because technology keeps evolving. So you don't get stuck in one place. And many of them, I would say almost all of them, did go on to have a family. They had children, they brought them up. Some of them took a break in their career, but they also managed to come back. So, okay, sometimes they would join, say, a startup, or they would join, they would take up teaching, or they had a pretty zigzag path. But if you see over 30 years, they didn't give up and just say, okay, now if I've taken 3-year break, to mera, career khatam ho gaya. So I think that's a great plus point for people working in technology. If you keep upskilling and upgrading yourself, even the time that you're on a break, you can use that to learn something new. Maybe also you have such a wonderful network of your own people you worked with, people you studied with, keep in touch with them and make sure that you don't fall off the career track because eventually the children grow up and go away. And these ladies are still very active. Okay, so now another person. So some of them have, for example, they're running their own laboratories. Um, So there's Dr. Geeta Narlikar. She's done MSc in chemistry from 1992 batch, but she's a professor of biochemistry and biophysics, and she runs her own Narlikar lab in the University of California, San Francisco. So though she trained to be a chemist, she eventually is working more in biology. And it's like, finally all the sciences are related. Even the biology may be chemistry to hai na. So there is an intersection between different subjects. So sometimes, people in the engineering didn't get the subject that they wanted. Actually, they didn't really know. They just heard from somebody कि वो बहुत अच्छा subject है. But in any subject, if you, really go deep into it, and there are some cutting edge things happening there which you can become a part of. You don't have to necessarily be qualified कि मैंने पढ़ा है और इसीलिए मुझे ये opportunity मिल रही है. I don't know whether this is more true of US than India, but I think in tech it is quite possible. Okay, now there is a lady called Dr. Vijaya Korvar Gallagher. She's done BTech in electrical engineering in 1976. And her title of her chapter is Space Mom. She's a chief architect, space segment for, Global Star and Sky Quantum. These are companies which are into space and satellite technology. So again, she said, I didn't start out that way. It's not like I went and joined NASA and वहाँ से मेरे को, आगे मुझे बढ़ने को मिला. So they did, hop around. Some people went to do their PhD and then they changed their subject there because they realized they like something better. One person even has done PhD in economics. After doing BTech from IIT, went and did PhD in economics. So I would say the whole world is open to you. You don't have to think, I'm stuck. As long as you're willing to grow, you're willing to learn. I'll just share one last thing that many of them are also teaching. So they are in different universities, they're deans of universities, they're professors, they're running laboratories. So if you have a lot of curiosity and you want to, there are certain kind of people who are very good to work in corporate, but some people who want to go very deep into their subject and who have a lot of attention to detail, who are of a different mindset or temperament, maybe they can go to research. So that's also a wonderful option, and I think going forward, more and more such opportunities will come up. And there are also, so there is this lady called Dr. Jayashri Kalpati Kramer. She's BTech Computer Science, 1992. She's a chief of the Division of Artificial Medical Intelligence in the Department of Ophthalmology in University of Colorado. So she's doing something in the field of medicine with computer science. So really, I think I'm very, jealous of all of you that you have so many opportunities because you know the language of today, which is the language of technology, right? Me being a arts graduate, I don't think I would ever be. I'm in the real, I mean, the world of words and ideas, which is also important. But you can be creative, you can be different, you can be path breaking. Don't ever think कि टेक्नोलॉजी मीन्स हाँ मैंने एक जॉब ले लिया, मैं कोडर बन गई, मैं प्रोग्राम हेड बन गई, प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर बन गई. आप कुछ भी बन सकते हो. जस्ट कीप लुकिंग for those opportunities, work with great people, and don't close your mind off to that opportunity of reinventing yourself. So this is the book, Who Said She Can't? You can order it on Amazon and so on. We can't sell it to you here. But the idea of reading these books is that you can get some inspiration from those who have done this before you, right? It's just that if she has done it, why can't you? So who said she can't? I think this title kind of speaks to all of you. Yes, all of you can. We all can do it together. Thank you so much.